During this video, I will be discussing a brief history of vaccination, starting with the first recorded vaccination, through the advancements of vaccination, and up to present-day beliefs and views on vaccination. Now, the chances are most of us will have been vaccinated against something at least once in our life. Some of us won't even remember it because we were so young. Vaccination has been part of our lives for over 200 years. The first vaccination was performed in 1796 by British physician Edward Jenner. It is worth mentioning, though, that the Chinese were using a similar technique called variolation as early as 10,000 AD to treat smallpox. There are better confirmed reports of an American doctor called Zabdiel Boylston performing the procedure during a smallpox epidemic in Boston in 1721. After Jenner's breakthrough, there were no real advancements in the field of vaccination for almost a century. Then, in a period of under 20 years before the end of the 19th century, vaccines were discovered for cholera, rabies, tetanus, typhoid fever and the bubonic plague, which in between 1348 and 1350 killed about 1/3 of the population of Europe. The 20th century was unquestionably the most progressive period for the advancement of vaccination. Vaccines for over 25 different diseases were discovered between 1991 and 1998, some of the most famous being diphtheria, tuberculosis, whooping cough, scarlet fever, yellow fever, typhus, influenza, polio, anthrax, chickenpox, pneumonia, and measles, mumps and rubella, which is given as one injection. In finding cures and supplying vaccines for these illnesses, medicine has given us a better herd health. Herd health is when a vast majority of a population has been vaccinated against a disease. This mass vaccination is also known as community immunity, because if a much larger proportion of the population are protected from infection, it means the disease has greatly reduced chance of spreading and becoming an epidemic or a pandemic. Although it's true that since its discovery, vaccination has only eradicated one disease, being smallpox, it is thought that it has saved around 9 million lives worldwide, and it is hypothesized that soon diphtheria and polio could be eradicated too. Despite this success, there has of late been a reluctance in some groups to acknowledge the need for vaccinations. In America particularly, there is questions around the safety of the injections. There has been accusations that the measles, mumps and rubella injection can cause autism. This allegation stems from the fact that thimerosal, which is a mercury-based preservative, was used to keep the needle sterile. In Australia, thimerosal has not been used in syringes since the year 2000, as they are now individually packaged. Accusations regarding the inclusion of thimerosal in vaccinations and a link between autism have been discredited by the American Agency of Pediatrics, the British Chief Medical Officer, and the UK Medical Research Council. As well as the threat of autism because of vaccination, there is a strong body of parents that believe unimmunized children are less prone to illness than immunized children. And there are many discussion groups and forums on the internet that demonstrate how strongly they uphold this opinion. Another reason that parents will choose not to immunize their children is because of religious beliefs. For example, Christian Science, a lesser-known denomination of Christianity, believe in faith healing, which is a belief that focused prayer can cure and heal all illnesses. It is worth mentioning, though, that high priests from Judaism and Islam have given their approval for their followers to be vaccinated, despite the fact that a lot of vaccines contain pork gelatin. It is considered that the benefits of vaccination are sufficient to warrant leniency on this matter. Since its official discovery in 1796, it's easy to demonstrate that vaccination has made a massive improvement on our lives. I mentioned earlier that it saved around 9 million people's lives since its discovery. That's about double the population of New Zealand. And while of late it does have its skeptics, it would be very difficult to put forward a strong enough argument to convince the majority to turn their backs on the practice. Vaccination is here to stay, and I believe our lives are better for it.